Hey everyone, welcome back to Bucky's Customs. Hey, in this video, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to make 3 projects. A cutting board, a charcuterie board, and a set of 4 coasters. And I'm going to use my LongMill to do it. And stay tuned till the end of this video so that you could learn how you could actually enter to win all 3 of these projects. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, before we get started with today's project, I want to say thank you to this week's sponsor, Sienci Labs, the makers of the LongMill benchtop CNC, just like the one we have here in our shop. If you're in the market for a CNC machine and you're not really sure what to get, go to their website, cnc.com, and check out this awesome machine. You'll be really happy you did. Now let's get back to our video. Okay, so what I did was I set my Z height with the touch probe in the highest portion of the board. Now that I've moved the mill to the center of the project, I'm going to zero my X and my Y. Should be good to go there. Let's turn the router on. And let's start the job. Nice and flat, just needs a good sanding. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take it off the mill and I'm going to surface the next project. Okay, we got the touch probe out. We'll set the 0 on the Z and get going on the charcuterie. Well, that worked out pretty good. I did find that it had some wormholes in it. We can work around that, whether we cut them out or make a, since it's a charcuterie board, the shape is going to be kind of odd anyway. So maybe we can just cut that off. It'll be a little bit smaller, but we'll see how it goes. While I've got the bit in the LongMill, I'm going to flatten the last piece. Now the last piece is cupped quite a bit, got a little curl to it, so it's going to take quite a bit to get this off. I like to put the crown down first and take off the edges to the center and then flip it over, throw it through the planer. This one's starting out a little bit thicker. I'm pretty sure this one was probably 1 1/4 inches to start, 1 3/8 inches. So this one will end up being about 1 1/8 inches. It'll be in that ballpark. This is the one I'm making the coasters out of, so my plan is to take this board and split it. Let's give that a go. Okay, we're gonna get this mounted in the mill and we'll find center and we'll get the carve started. I want to share something with you on that. I made a huge mistake and some of you might have even seen that. I zeroed in the center for my Z instead of at the high point. And by the time the bit started getting to the outside on this side here, it was almost 3/8 of an inch thick. Almost. And I thought, as I'm going along, I thought, well, I'm going to let the LongMill do its thing. And I'll tell you what, this 3/4 inch surfacing bit from Sienci Labs did the job. This thing is absolutely perfect. It didn't move in any way. And I had it at 100 and I think 110 as far as the speed. But I'm at a loss right now. I'm just totally blown my mind that I did that, and the bit really did a nice job. And I've got one side flat. It's not perfectly smooth because I was going pretty fast. Sander will take that out, and we'll get this thing out of here and flip it over and put it through the planer and get this thing flat. And then we'll be back at the mill. Crazy, crazy. Alright, so that was quite a challenge. Taking rough lumber like that, cut-offs that were curved and all that, and made them flat. Cutting board came out really nice. It has very little imperfections in it. I just need to cut it to size. And then our charcuterie board came out exactly 3/4 of an inch thick. Does have a crack in it, but for the most part, this one here has a lot of imperfections in it. So we'll see how that one goes. I may be able to fix it with some epoxy. But at any rate, I got it flat. It took me a while to do that. And then this one here also has a crack in it. This is the one we're going to use for the coasters. I thought maybe I could get 12 coasters out of this board, but it looks like I'm only going to be able to get 8. Okay, so what we're going to do first is the charcuterie board. We're going to do the outline and the hole for the handle and see how that goes. Okay, so we're going to use the touch probe here to do the X, Y, and Z on the charcuterie board. And you notice I put a little circle around the connector. That is a no-no. That thing is hanging out too far. You want to make sure that's in all the way so you get good connectivity. Here's the deal. You don't want that to screw something up in your carb, so it could really mess things up. I've had this happen before. So, alrighty, on with the outline carve. Well, I got her out of there. That just goes to show you 3 pieces of tape and some CA glue. That stuff is incredible. It holds a project down. Now there's a lot of stuff wrong with this board. We'll use some epoxy where we need to. Okay, cutting board is done as far as the LongMill. The charcuterie board is done as far as the LongMill. Now we're going to make the coasters. Okay, so we mount the coaster board the identical way as we did the charcuterie. We do an X, Y, and Z 0. And this is really important, as you'll see coming up, that we need an accurate X, Y, and Z in this case. Everything goes well, and get on with the carve. Hey, not only can you go to CNC Labs website to purchase your LongMill, which I'm sure you already have, you can also go there and check out their online store. Yes, they do have an online store where you can get a variety of products, accessories for your mill, dust boots, touch plates, and router bits. You can even buy a router there. And yes, I did say router bits. CNC Labs has one of the biggest collections of router bits for the benchtop CNC that you will ever need, and they're high quality. So go to the link in the description below and check out their online store. You'll be happy you did. I've got 6 coasters cut out here. I really want to just flip this over and cut the circles, these circles in the back side. And then I can cut out these with a saw, with my bandsaw, and then I can cut them in half with my bandsaw, and I'll have 2 coasters each. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to flip them over and go ahead and cut the recess in the other side. Okay, so this is where I was talking about having a really good starting point, and this worked out really well. I didn't have any issues, as you'll see, with placement. We'll take it over to the bandsaw and cut them apart, sand them down to the size. We'll see how it looks from there. Well, that first one's right on the money, both sides. So now all I got to do is cut it in half this way on the bandsaw, and I've got 2 coasters. Okay, so we ran the coasters through the bandsaw and the cutting board through the drum sander. Yeah, so who doesn't like a cutting board made out of one hunk of solid cherry? Absolute cherry is my favorite wood to work with. It is really fun to play with this stuff, and the grain just gets richer and richer the older it gets. That's really pretty cool wood. And so now I have both sides of this board parallel to each other, and I use some 80 grit paper to take off rather than start up my planer, make a whole bunch of noise, I just used the belt sander and drum sander, and that worked out really well. We just gotta fine sand this and it'll be a great cutting board. So that part of it's done so far. Now let's get on to the next project. Okay, so I've done some sanding and inspecting on this charcuterie board, and you knew there was a crack in it. So what I decided to do is run the bandsaw blade down in it and make it a little bit wider, and I'm going to pour some epoxy in there. I definitely have some injury to the handle. That knot came out, and there is some wormholes on the back side. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my handheld, put a flat end mill in it, and just kind of take this down a bit below the surface, maybe about 1/8 of an inch, and I think I'll dress up the edge so that it looks not routered. And then I'll pour some epoxy in there, and I'll also do the handle at the same time. We're gonna mount it to a board. I've got a like a cutting mat for fabric that is plastic, and the epoxy doesn't stick to it, so I think I'm gonna mount it to that board and use some hot glue and seal everything up and do the pour all at once. That's what we're going to do next with this charcuterie board. Okay, I'll admit the charcuterie board was a lot of labor, and you could see me trying to carve and route and do whatever I can to save this board. I just think it's worth every minute that I spent with it. It came out awesome. I have it glued to this craft board, which the epoxy won't stick to, and I'm gonna put some tape around here and close this end off. I don't know if you could see that or not, but I'm gonna close this end off, and I'm gonna pour all this inside here and let this all fill up, and we'll redo this hole. But I want to get some epoxy all the way around that so that it stiffens this up, because it's kind of beat up here from the wormholes. So we'll get that all taped off, and then we'll get the epoxy mixed up, and we'll pour it for the night. I just want to say, if you don't have a hot glue gun when you're doing epoxy projects, you're missing out, because this thing was so valuable in this case. I think we're good on that. I just sealed all the way around it, put a little dam on it. I think I got to put a little dam on this crack. Other than that, I think I'm going to start mixing epoxy. Mixing epoxy isn't rocket science. This was a 1-to-1, so it was pretty easy. I know I mix more than I should, but I have other projects I could fill up. It says mix for 5 minutes, so that's what we're gonna do. So using a syringe was something that I thought of a while back for doing little projects, and I was doing a lot of cutting board engravings and filling them in with epoxy, and a syringe just seemed to work really well than trying to pour it out of a big bucket or a big cup. So came out pretty good. And what you see me doing here is just getting rid of all the excess glue and getting it ready for sanding. I'm going to use this drill, and I'm going to put a hole in my charcuterie board in the epoxy handle. Well, there we go. We have a finger hole for our charcuterie board. It came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy about it. Now we just do some final sanding and the charcuterie board will be done. Yeah, you know me. I can't leave a mess too long. Out comes the vac. Now here's Bucky's #1 shop helper, forgetting to turn his microphone on again. Just wanting to show you how good that charcuterie board came out after the router had gone around it. It really was a nice piece. Pretty proud of himself for that one. Now that we have all the coasters cut out, we're going to go ahead and put the waterproof piece in the recess for where your cup or your glass would go. And I just did this with some really good spray adhesive and stuck it on there, and I think it came out pretty good. Okay, we're getting ready to put a round over on the cutting board, and I'm adjusting the height of the round over bit. And here's a tip for you. Go ahead and set your adjustment and do like a test run on a piece of plywood or a scrap wood just to make sure you don't screw up your piece. And that's what I did here. Okay, we got a little black box out. We're starting to uncover it. And I'll tell you what, this is one of the best ideas I ever had for cutting boards. I keep my mineral oil in here, and I just dip the boards and let them dry on these little slats. It works out really, really well. They're just, to me anyway, isn't anything more beautiful than cherry. It is a wood that I really enjoy working with. It machines well. It's why I woodwork, you know, because this stuff it just comes out so beautiful. The grains in these woods just come out so beautiful. Gosh, I can't get over how good these came out. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed making these and doing them all with a LongMill. You know, it's been a great machine for this shop, for my shop, for me, and I can't tell you how much gratification I get when I build something using that machine. It's just, possibilities are endless. Man, that was fun to do. I love being able to do projects that go together. I love being able to do projects that are all on the LongMill. The surfacing, the shape, you know, we had a mix of a lot of that, and I think it came out really good. These things are really, really nice. Cherry is my favorite wood. I want to tell you that I really appreciate everyone's support. You know, all those of you that are subscribing to my channel, liking my videos, and also sharing my videos with others. I really appreciate that, and it really helps this channel grow. I want to give back, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some details here how you could enter to win this Butler package with a bonus, and I'll explain this. Now all you need to do to enter this giveaway is go to that subscribe button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Go to the like button and click that you like this video. And then down in the comments of this video, make a comment of what you would like to see me make on the LongMill for a project. By all means, elaborate if you'd like on what you thought of this video. That is it. And if you do that, you'll be entered to win the Butler package. We as YouTubers are always asking you to subscribe, to like, to share, to click the notification bell so that you can get notified. We want you to watch our videos, and you know, in all honesty, that's how we survive. So if you like what we're doing, any YouTuber, if you like what they're doing, click subscribe. I'm doing this because I want to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I want to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Now when I get to 1,000, I'm going to put everyone who subscribed, commented, and liked this video in a hat, and we're going to draw a name, and whoever that is, we're going to send you this Butler package. And Sienci Labs is going to send you a bit package, and you can see that right here. There's a picture of it. I'll put a list of all the bits. It's a fantastic package. The value on this thing is well over $200. So please enter to win this Butler package and a bonus set of CNC bits, and get this channel to 1,000 subscribers. So thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enter to win. Be safe out there.